Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Jay, and today I want to talk about Sonic Prime, the latest Sonic cartoon to premiere on Netflix. Sonic is a multimedia franchise that has persisted for 3 decades, and I really appreciate all the references this show threw in, especially to the classic era. It feels like there was a lot of love put into this show, and the creators are real fans of the series. The show features a multiverse, playing on the trend that's been popular recently with Avengers and Spider-Man, and it works well here since the Sonic franchise is no stranger to the multiverse. Things kick off when Dr. Eggman has his sights on something called the Paradox Prism, a crystal that is extremely powerful and happens to be tied to the universe. Unfortunately, Sonic accidentally breaks it when he's fighting Eggman, and it ends up breaking reality itself, destroying Sonic's original timeline and creating multiple alternative realities. Yeah, Sonic probably should have gone for Eggman instead of the crystal. Since Sonic was directly involved in the incident, he ends up being connected to the crystal, so he's able to retain his memories, and he can travel between dimensions by touching the crystal. But his friends and Eggman end up having alternate reality versions of themselves, and none of them can remember their original counterparts. The only exception to this was Shadow. He used chaos control during the event, so that caused him to be stuck in the void, and the only person he can talk to is Sonic, but only when he runs really fast. I was worried about how they would handle Shadow, since he's typically portrayed as an edgy bully recently, because apparently Sega forgot about his character development from Sonic Adventure 2, so he's usually antagonistic for no real reason. Here he is antagonistic, but he actually has a reason. He probably doesn't need to be this antagonistic, but it is a nice change of pace. Sonic has trouble taking things seriously and focusing, and Shadow recognizes this can lead to problems, so he tries to beat some sense into him, literally, which admittedly is probably not the best way to get through to him, especially since he punches him so hard he forgets what he's doing. But Shadow also has his own issues that he needs to deal with, like some serious anger management problems. His fears end up coming true when Sonic breaks reality and gets him stuck in the void, which makes him even angrier. I think Shadow needs to learn to use his words, but I understand why he would be so upset. Hopefully we'll be able to see more of him in the next season. Maybe he'll even get to join the main group eventually. That'd be great. This time around the main group consists of Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and also Rouge, which I was pleasantly surprised by. There's also Big and Froggy. Admittedly, I've never been a huge fan of Big, but he wasn't intrusive, and he was actually kind of fun this time around, especially in the pirate world. I really liked seeing them play music. Sonic is a lot of fun as usual, but he has a lot of room for character growth. Shadow is right about him being immature, but I'm excited to see where they take his character. But we see a lot of different versions of the Sonic universe. The first we see is a city where Eggman basically won. He took over everything and turned their paradise into a dystopia. Also, there are 5 Eggmans, strangely enough, and also this is the only universe where Eggman seems to exist, which I was a little confused by. Is that why there's 5 of them? In my opinion, this was the most interesting and fleshed out of the universes. It kind of reminded me of Sonic Sadam. Amy's even a cyborg. I wish they'd shown her backstory for this world though. They showed Tails, Knuckles, and Rouge's backstories, but not hers. It would have been interesting to see how this happened, but they'll probably touch on this in the next season. I thought it was really cute that they showed Rouge sleeping upside down. That was a really fun touch, and I liked how close she and Knuckles were, since the two of them lead the resistance. Tails is a sad little loner in this universe, because without Sonic he was never able to make friends, and he mostly minds his own business, and does his best to survive, but he ultimately gets dragged into the resistance thanks to Sonic's shenanigans, which he resents. He's very combative and is determined to protect himself, since he's been bullied all his life, even going so far as to create an extension to his tails, making him look kinda like a Kyuubi. Sonic was taking on Eggman with the resistance, and he touched the shard, only to get sent to another universe, the jungle one, which in my opinion was the weakest. Since Eggman doesn't exist in this universe, Amy ends up serving as the bad guy, and the conflict seemed a bit forced. Basically, Amy is trying to protect the jungle by starving out her friends. It's a little messed up when you think about it. Apparently the others were over-harvesting, which upset her, so she drove them out and forced them to live in the canopies where there's no food. And she's just waiting for them to starve. I mean, it's not like they were dumping toxic waste. I'm sure you can talk this out. Which Sonic points out. I don't really think they needed to spend 3 episodes on this plot. I appreciate that the conflict wasn't one-sided though. Amy was actually hurting the jungle in her attempts to protect it because she was cutting off the trees to the sun, and she wouldn't let her flicky friend fly. But they all learned their lessons and were able to come together and be friends again, which was nice to see, but probably didn't need to take this long. I also thought how it was funny in the jungle world, since there's no technology, Tails ends up being basically a feral animal. He doesn't talk and he didn't even know he could fly. In the last world, everybody is a pirate, and they're all using pirate accents, which is pretty cute. Sonic has to help Knuckles regain his confidence as a captain after his last crew mutinied because he put their lives in danger, future, trying to get the piece of the Paradox Prism. Unfortunately, the Eggmen from the dystopian world figure out that there are multiple crystals, so they want to capture all the shards for themselves and recreate the Paradox Prism, and take over the multiverse, which seems like it'll be the main conflict going forward, and the season ends on a cliffhanger. Overall, the show was really fun and enjoyable. My major issue with this season was that the story at the beginning was told out of order. Instead of playing out the first episode, they basically skipped to the gem being shattered, and then spend the next few episodes flashing back to what happened before this. But it would have worked fine if they just played out the first episode as is, instead of constantly breaking up the story to flash back to it. But it was still a good time. I hope we're gonna get more insight into the characters next season, and I'm really hoping we get to see Cyborg Amy and Pirate Amy interact, but I am really happy with what we got so far, and I'm looking forward to more. But that's my opinion. What do you guys think? Did you enjoy Sonic Prime? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Before I go, I want to give a shout out to our channel's members: Stutania, Tyrant Carnivore, Adam K, Shiny Orc Boy, The Rabbit Mancer, General Bolivar, Depth Charge Media, Samaru163, Gabby Hime, Sandy Martin, Verdant Range, Butcher 7 Actual, Dash Hound, JVR, Hussyman42, Nixel, Eric Griffin, Bill C, Taylor Ramirez, Caleb Nelson, Bandito Bane, Dakari the Professor, Equestron, Owen Wildish, Norman Sweetcream, Way Beyond Coincidence, Garcia, XV Legend, Hunter Rose, and Lil. Thank you all so much for your support, and if you'd like to support the channel as a member, you can hit the join button next to the subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this content, you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, and that part's free. We also have Buy Me Coffee if you want to support us that way. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.